The calendar says the first day of spring, but it's also the last day of the New Jersey high school basketball season. And for two teams, both named the Warriors, a chance to fulfill dreams of a state championship in the Garden State. News 12 Varsity presents the New Jersey Tournament of Champions championship game as the 15th ranked Warriors of Franklin take on the number 2 ranked Warriors of Manasquan. Hello again, everyone. I'm Lou Brogno. Alongside is Greg Lerner. We welcome you to the Sun Center here in Trenton for this TOC final. Franklin taking on Manasquan. The Franklin Warriors, the big surprise of this Tournament of Champions. And Greg, as you can see, this is how they got here. Of course, the big win in the semifinals over Rutgers Prep.
Franklin has hit its stride at the ideal time of the season, Lou. They've won 8 games in a row, and they've walked over 8 straight opponents, including, quite frankly, Rutgers Prep. If you look at that score, it's not indicative of how well Franklin controlled that game from start to finish.
The Warriors of Franklin, the number 4 seed, the number 2 seed, the Manasquan Warriors. And yesterday, an unbelievably impressive effort defeating Red Bank Catholic 74-45.
I saw Lisa Kokoda and her staff on the bench before the game, and I said, you guys just show up here every year in these chairs because this is the 4th time they're making an appearance here. This is their time of the season. This is what these kids drill and train for all season. I hate to say it, but anything less than getting to the Sun National Bank Center is considered kind of a disappointment for Manasquan. But they haven't disappointed anybody for the last 4 years. They're here again.
Well, Franklin features one of the most electrifying young players in the Garden State. Sophomore Diamond Miller, averaging over 18 points a game and over 6 rebounds per contest. But Greg, she's been on fire in the postseason, averaging over 20 points per game in this tournament.
20 points per game. She's doing it off the dribble. She's doing it from the three-point arc. And beyond that, Lou, I love the way she defends in the post. Watch this kid. I guarantee you right now you can write her in for at least 4 or 5 block shots, and she will put them to the floor so she can retrieve them and start the transition.
On the other side for Manasquan, they feature the New Jersey Gatorade Player of the Year. 5'6" junior Dara Mabry, averaging just a shade under 20 points per game, having yet another spectacular season and coming off a 24-point performance against Red Bank Catholic in the semifinals.
Let's see, March, Mabry's. Seems like it's always the same old thing. It's just a different Mabry here. Dara has been outstanding all season, playing defense and scoring the basketball and being a leader for the Warriors.
Well, the opening tip just moments away. Franklin taking on Manasquan for the New Jersey State Championship. It's coming up next here on News 12 Varsity.
How do you measure a champion? With grit, heart, intensity, toughness. The results are in for the News 12 Varsity 2017 All-Metro basketball teams. The announcements begin on March 29th at 7 p.m. for the girls team and on March 30th at 7 p.m. for the boys squad.
The Sun National Bank Center here in Trenton, site of the Tournament of Champions final, the New Jersey Girls Basketball State Championship game, as Franklin, 24-7, the number 4 seed in this tournament, takes on Manasquan, the number 2 seed at 31-2. Lou Brogno, Greg Lerner, glad you could join us for what should be an outstanding game. Greg, of course, Franklin, the big surprise of this TOC so far, really coming out of nowhere after losing in the Somerset County quarterfinals. What a run they've made in the state tournament.
Haven't lost since, 8 in a row. And I think they found the formula which will play very nicely in an arena like this, where depth perception tends to take a little bit of the consistency and the accuracy out of the perimeter game. Franklin doesn't need it. They attack the basket. That's what they've been doing to get to this point. Aggressive.
Head coach of the Franklin Warriors, Audrey Taylor, great player in her own right at South River High School in the early 1990s, all-time leading scorer there for the Rams. And we are underway. Franklin in their road blue, the lower seed, trimmed with gold, and Manasquan in their home white uniforms. Good look inside, and right away Manasquan scores as Adi Masonis puts it in, and Manasquan takes a 2-0 lead. Here's Diamond Miller, moves in on the baseline, can't score. Ball loose on the floor. Miller gets to it, and a jump ball. The alternating arrow will give it to Franklin. Franklin defeating Pascack Valley 70-50 in the TOC quarterfinals, and then defeating Rutgers Prep for the second time this year yesterday in the semifinals 66-57. Here's Camille Gray, who had 20 points in that game yesterday. Steal by Manasquan. Dara Mabry, beautiful pass to Stella Clark, who lays it up and in. Good start for Manasquan. They lead 4-0.
Efficient on that transition.
Here's Gray, dribbles in, takes it right down the lane, can't score. Rebound pulled down underneath and taken away. Franklin gets it right back. They put up a shot, does Shank, she can't score, and Manasquan comes back the other way. Clark flips it up ahead, Carly Geisler, Dara Mabry for 3, off the front rim, doesn't go, and the rebound by Faith Masonis, beautiful play, they get it over to Clark, off the backboard, it doesn't go, and Franklin comes back the other way. Diamond Miller, the super sophomore, flips it over on the right wing. Just about a minute and a half gone by here in the first quarter in the New Jersey State Final. Gray dribbles to the foul line and backs it back out. Diamond Miller dribbles in, now takes the jump shot outside. It doesn't go, and here comes Manasquan on the break. Adi Masonis flips it in the corner where it's played there by Mabry. Mabry loses the handle, the quickness of Franklin reaching in.
Interesting to watch on that last Franklin possession. Dara Mabry on Diamond Miller. She's given him about 7 inches in that matchup.
Faith Masonis takes the shot from the top of the key, and the rebound comes down to Franklin. Quickly, Tiana Jackson, their exciting point guard, puts up a tough shot, can't score. The offensive rebound put up and in by Monique Davis-Campbell. She averages over 7 rebounds per game for the Franklin Warriors.
Strong, physical presence inside, clears people out, and I'm telling you what, she's got a delicate touch.
Stella Clark breaks free momentarily, goes top of the key. Faith Masonis fires a 3. It's off the rim. And Greg, you brought up an excellent point. The depth perception here at the Sun Center is kind of unique to these players. They don't play in these kind of arenas, so these long outside shots, it might take them just a little bit to get used to.
No, you have nothing. I'm no carpenter here in terms of measuring the distance between the backboard and the bleachers, but I got to think it's close to about 40 feet of nothingness behind that backboard.
There's Camille Gray, goes cross court and throws it away. Tried to go with the cross court pass over to Tiana Jackson. Manasquan, as we said, coming in 31-2. Their only losses this year, St. Rose in the Shore Conference semifinals, 68-59 in overtime. And Rutgers Prep, 62-54, way back on January 29th. That's it. Here's Stella Clark, dribbles in, puts the brakes on the baseline, flips it back outside, top of the key, Adi Masonis. Here's Mabry, launches a 3 off the rim, no. And the rebound pulled down by Diamond Miller, and then Manasquan reaching in the foul. Get Audrey Taylor. Talked about her being the all-time leading scorer at South River, over 1,369 points. Led them to a state championship as a sophomore, then played at Monmouth, assistant coach at Cardinal McCarrick and Roselle before coming to Franklin. What a job she's done with this program.
An outstanding coach. Outstanding.
Here comes Manasquan. Beautiful bounce pass up ahead. What a pass by Faith Masonis. And Stella Clark lays it in. Manasquan leads it 6-2, and Franklin calls a timeout.
Manasquan flipping the script on Franklin by getting themselves out and scoring in transition. And I thought in those previous 2 possessions, you're going to watch, well, we're going to see the replay here, and that's Faith Masonis with a little splash of French pastry on that pass. Faith Masonis as a sophomore, even last year as a freshman, what really struck me was how good she is as a passer, a distributor, a visionary with the basketball. But I like the fact that they attacked the basket. Now, obviously, that's on a run out. But I think that's what you have to do here. They got out to that early lead with 2 layups, the first one by Addie Masonis, which is great from Manasquan's perspective to establish her as a scoring option right off the bat. And then they started going out to the perimeter, and now they're missing shots. Franklin's getting rebounds. And you see what happens. When we attack the basket, I would say to anybody, if I was a coach, I would express to my kids, we need to be aggressive attacking the basket here. We'll settle for jump shots if we have no other recourse.
You see Faith there, 17 points in the semifinals against Red Bank Catholic. Averaged over 10 points per game this year and over 5 rebounds. Inside, Monique Davis-Campbell. She's tough. Also over 10 points per game this year for Franklin. 6-4, Manasquan by a bucket. Faith Masonis loses the dribble. Picked up by Clark. Now this is Stella Clark actually outside. It was Addie Masonis who picked up the dribble. And here comes Franklin on the run. Up ahead to Jackson. Tiana Jackson steps in, and that's an offensive foul.
You're going to see her try and get in the way here. Yeah, she steps in subtly.
Greg, I thought they called an offensive foul. The foul was on Clark.
Oh, no. I thought for sure it was Clark because you could see that she didn't establish firm position on that. She stepped in.
So Tiana Jackson's at the line and misses the first. Manasquan, by the way, has 3 fouls, 3 team fouls. 3:57 left here in this first quarter. And Jackson, the sophomore point guard, hits the second. So it's a 1-point game. Manasquan leads it 6-5. New Jersey State title, the overall New Jersey State Championship on the line here tonight at the Sun National Bank Center. It's Carly Geisler hands it off to Stella Clark. Flips inside to Addie Masonis. Turnaround good. What a sweet shot by Addie Masonis, the Wagner-bound senior. Diamond Miller outside, flips top of the key. Keona Schenk drives in and kisses it off the glass, doesn't go. The rebound underneath, and Mabry comes out of there with it, and Franklin reaches in.
Let me tell you something right now. If Addie Masonis is going to get buckets early in this game, Franklin's in trouble, okay? Because Addie is a modest scorer. She's a great hustler. She's a good defensive player. Yesterday in the semifinals, she scored 8 points, and that was considered kind of an offensive explosion from Addie. But what I've always liked about Addie is what she recognizes, what she does off the ball to get in a position to finish. She's a great read on the weak side.
Lola Mullaney in the game now for Manasquan. Mabry knifes through the defense and puts it up and in off the backboard. Miller flips it across court. It's intercepted by Mullaney. Up ahead, Mabry ahead of the field. Lays it up and in. And Manasquan up by 7 now. It's 12-5.
Lola Mullaney been a great addition for Manasquan this year. Transfer from Colts next. She stepped in. She's found her niche. She rebounds. She passes. She scores.
Again, Manasquan on the break, and Stella Clark finishes it off. It's a 9-point Manasquan lead, 14-5, with 2:20 remaining in the first.
And an 8-0 run in about a matter of 3 minutes.
And that goes off of the foot of Tiana Jackson. And checking into the game for Manasquan, checking back in is Faith Masonis. You see Lisa Kokoda in her 5th season at the helm of Manasquan. What a job she has done. 4 straight Group 2 championships. 4 straight appearances in the TOC final. Here's Mabry. Gives to Masonis. Outside, Mullaney. Off the front rim, no. Diamond Miller driving in the block by Mullaney. Lola Mullaney. Watch the ups on this.
Athlete, only a sophomore, uses her length very well, sets it up, almost concedes giving her inside so she can set her up for the block.
Beautiful inbounds pass by Franklin, and it's laid up and in by Monique Davis-Campbell. And Franklin does that brilliantly. Yesterday they had several outstanding inbounds passes that resulted in baskets.
How about Monique Davis-Campbell with all 3 field goals for Franklin so far?
Mabry pulls up, jumper, in and out. Rebound pulled down by Camille Gray of Franklin. Flips to Diamond Miller. Long pass up ahead to Kennedy Schenk. She brings it back outside. Franklin down by 7, and they throw it away again. So it's a 7-point Manasquan lead. Minute 10 left of the first quarter of this TOC final.
One of the defensive attributes of both of these teams that I love so much is the turnover you see there. Man-to-man defense. Love man-to-man defense. Both teams play it almost exclusively.
Kiana Schenk dribbles, gives to Diamond Miller. Miller flips it back outside. Tough defense here by Manasquan. Stella Clark all over Schenk. Now, a little backdoor action, but traveling is the call on Franklin.
Unfortunate on the travel, but I love the execution, and maybe that is the way that Franklin can unlock some openings in their offense, running some backdoor cuts, bringing Monique Davis-Campbell out of the paint, bringing her up into the high post, creating some space for cutters.
So here's Mulaney, top of the key, wide open, drills it. Lola Mulaney for 3, and Manasquan has a 10-point lead. And the block by Galvin. Victoria Galvin with the block. Here's Mabry, dishes underneath. Mulaney puts it up, can't connect. Knocked out of bounds by Manasquan. And Franklin will get it back with 4.9 seconds remaining. Geisler and Addie Masonis check back into the game for Manasquan, along with Nikki Stevens, who makes her first appearance.
It's interesting. Manasquan's getting its depth involved here early, getting the kids a couple of extra seconds breather. They're going to get the timing at the end of the quarter.
Diamond Miller, a long 3 off the mark. And the first quarter comes to an end. It's a first quarter dominated by Manasquan. The Group 2 champion Warriors of Manasquan lead it by 10, 17-7. Second quarter upcoming here on News 12 Varsity.
How do you measure a champion? With grit, heart, intensity, toughness. The results are in for the News 12 Varsity 2017 All-Metro basketball teams. The announcements begin on March 29th at 7 p.m. for the girls team and on March 30th at 7 p.m. for the boys squad.
Back at the Sun National Bank Center, Manasquan up 17-7. Lisa Kokoda, we talked about the great job she's done with this program. Group 2 champions in 2014, 15, 16, and 17. 2 Tournament of Championship titles. 2015, they beat St. Rose. And in 2012, this program beat Gill St. Bernard's for the championship. By the way, this is the first all-public school TOC final since 2014, Franklin and Manasquan.
Yeah, it was funny. I got a lot of people hitting me up like, hey, big time. But I'm like, yeah, it's not a big deal about public school finals. I think people forgot that Shabazz used to hang around here quite a bit.
Yes, they did.
Manasquan has been in this thing for quite a while. Rancocas Valley, Trenton, Willingboro, Neptune. I mean, this has not been a TOC that's been dominated solely by parochial schools on the girls' side.
Shabazz, of course, has won 6 TOC titles under their great coach, Vanessa Watson. And the first team to ever win the TOC championship was a public school, Hoffman High School out of South Amboy in 1989. Here comes Manasquan. Mabry across the midcourt line. Long 3. Dara Mabry can't hit. And it goes off the rim and out of bounds. It'll be Franklin basketball. See Diamond Miller, we mentioned she's averaging over 20 points per game in this tournament. At 30 points and 17 rebounds against Pascack Valley, 15 points yesterday against Rutgers Prep. And Schenk drives in, puts up a shot, can't score. Rebound knocked around. Kennedy Schenk flips it back outside. Camille Gray takes an extra step and travels. So it's been a tough early start for Franklin, which of course played a tremendous game yesterday against Rutgers Prep. Saw Camille Gray there, Greg. She had 20 points yesterday.
By aggressively attacking the basket all game long yesterday. Camille was outstanding in that regard, just setting an aggressive tone for the Warriors.
And a travel called on Addie Masonis. So Manasquan gives it right back. Let's see if Franklin can settle down offensively. Just over a minute gone by second quarter. Diamond Miller with the drive. And the super sophomore shows how smooth she is down the lane.
All the way down there, she must have heard you, Lou, because you ask and you get what you wanted from Diamond Miller. Slashing to the basket with such a grace about her, she glides.
That's a sophomore, over 18 points per game and 6.6 rebounds. Another turnover against Manasquan, another travel. So Franklin down by 8, 17-9. Here's Miller. Gets it back, launches a long three. Got it! Diamond Miller drills a three, and Franklin draws to within 5.
That's exactly the player Franklin wants to get hot, and exactly the player Manasquan can't afford to get hot.
17-12. Faith Masonis dribbles in. Loses the dribble, and that'll be a reach-in foul on Franklin. Third team foul on the Franklin Warriors.
Great form. Watch. She always gets such a high arc. Watch Diamond Miller here. She brings rain down, but she also brings 3 down, and she brings the deficit down as well. Gets Franklin within a manageable 5-point deficit now.
Here comes Diamond Miller off the save. Beautiful play. And Miller drives and scores. So Diamond Miller on a run here for Franklin, and they have closed the deficit to 3.
That's cashing in on 3 straight turnovers by Manasquan.
Mulaney for 3, doesn't go. Rebound, Faith Masonis stepped on the baseline, or did they call a foul on Franklin? Well, the foul is on Franklin. Franklin foul number 21, Davis Campbell. Foul on Monique Davis Campbell. That's the 4th team foul on Franklin. So Manasquan triggers in on the baseline. From the corner, Mabry can't connect. Stella Clark the rebound, puts it up. No. And it comes back outside to Galvin, who puts it up. No. Rebound Clark, and she's bumped. Stella Clark, so tough. That's the 5th team foul on Franklin. .5:26 remaining here in the second quarter. 17-14 Manasquan in the TOC final. That goes off of the leg of Faith Masonis. So Franklin will inbound, a chance to cut it to 1 or tie the game.
5th turnover. We're less than 3 minutes into this quarter.
Miller loses. Stella Clark picks the pocket. Clark puts the brakes on, dishes inside Mabry with a reverse on the baseline. Dara Mabry, pretty play.
Eyes in the back of her head.
Here's Schenk, takes the shot outside off the rim, no. Rebound, Jackson puts it up and in. Tiana Jackson off the backboard. And again, it's a 3-point game. 19-16 Manasquan. Clark fakes the 3. Mabry steps out. Off the back rim, doesn't go. A long range 3 taken by Mabry. And trying to save it, Geisler, but it's a backcourt violation.
It's interesting. I feel like Manasquan is exploring that perimeter and taking shots maybe a little bit sooner than Lisa Kokoda would like, as opposed to let's move the ball around a little bit, get a higher percentage shot, maybe get a seam that we can attack off the dribble. They're shooting threes, and they're not striking any luck with it right now.
Miller launches a three. Yes! Diamond Miller ties the game at 19, and Lisa Kokoda calls a timeout from Manasquan.
Somebody is striking gold from the distance right now, and it is Diamond Miller. You can't leave her open. You can't give her space. She's 6'3". She has a great jump shot, great form, and it's impossible to block that kid's shot from the perimeter, and she gets such a high arc on it. She's on fire right now.
Diamond Miller getting early interest from the likes of Seton Hall, Virginia Tech, Fordham, Villanova, St. Joe's. Coach C. Vivian Stringer was in the crowd yesterday for Rutgers. Only a sophomore. Little story about Diamond Miller. Of course, her dad, Lance Miller, one of the great all-time high school basketball players in New Jersey history, played for Bridgewater Raritan West between 1985 and 89. And you might ask, Bridgewater West? Yeah, before there was a Bridgewater Raritan High School, there was an East and a West. And what a team that West team was, Greg. 112 wins and 5 losses in the Lance Miller era. 4 Somerset County titles and 3 state championships.
Yeah, they were studs back then. Lance Miller was a beast, and his daughter, outstanding. Multiple daughters. Adrina, who is here, she's at LaSalle now. Lanaya Miller, who's at Piscataway. The Miller family is expansive in New Jersey, and they're gifted and talented players.
We are tied at 19. 4:05 remaining first half. Bounce pass to Addie Masonis. Gets it back to Mabry, and that goes off of Galvin. Actually, last touched by Franklin.
Looks like Franklin was in a 2-3 in that set right there. By the way, Diamond Miller had no points in the first quarter. She's got 10 right now in the second quarter.
Manasquan triggers in on the baseline. Faith Masonis pulls up for the jumper. It dances off the rim. Rebound comes to Addie Masonis. Stella Clark gets the roll. Nice soft touch by Stella Clark to give Manasquan the lead once again. It's 21-19 Manasquan. Diamond Miller, top of the key. Being played by Clark. Goes to Tiana Jackson. And then Kennedy Schenk comes over to get the pass, and that's an offensive foul. Used her elbow to push off. 6th team foul on Franklin. Kind of odd to do play-by-play and not use the name of the teams, but they're both Warriors. Don't want to confuse anyone.
I know.
Manasquan Warriors and the Franklin Warriors. Kind of an oddity for this championship game.
I went back in the history books the first time the two teams with the same moniker playing in the TFC. Did you know?
Galvin, beautiful bounce pass to Mabry, who lays it in. Victoria Galvin, the senior, does an excellent job off the bench for Manasquan.
It's a great point. She passes the basketball here with a steal.
Up ahead to Mabry. Mabry dribbles in, dishes underneath, put up and in, off the glass by Stella Clark, a chance for a three-point play.
And like you said, it starts with Victoria Galvan in the middle, getting her hands out, extending her hands, making a play. You're going to watch this, and then setting it up. Dara sets it up with that stop and go, the wraparound pass to Stella Clark, and the pure emotion, which is what drives Manasquan.
Stella Clark, the senior, playing in her last game for Manasquan, is committed to Northeastern. Averaging just a shade under 10 points a game, leads the Warriors with assists this year. She really makes things go for this Manasquan team.
A timely 7-0 rebuttal by Manasquan here after Franklin had tied the game.
Offensive foul on Monique Davis Campbell. That's the 8th team foul on Franklin, so Manasquan in the bonus.
And it's Galvan who draws the offensive charge inside. Let me tell you, last year she was out all season with a torn ACL. Manasquan missed her. Listen to the ovation she gets as she comes off the floor. The one thing that people, I don't know if they fully appreciate about Manasquan is how important hustle is with this team. Watch every kid get on the floor. Watch every kid sacrifice to take a charge. Physical harm means little when you lift the championship.
Galvan, a great story, had an ACL injury last year, came back from that. And Lisa Kokoda knows how important she is. When she came over to the bench, gave her high fives.
No doubt about it, because you know what? You appreciate the work ethic of Victoria Galvan. You appreciate the work ethic that you get of every kid on this team, because that is another layer to the Manasquan lore. They work so hard.
Manasquan back up by 7. It's 26-19. 2 minutes and 10 seconds remaining, second quarter. Camille Gray outside, flips top of the key, gives the Schenk. Kiana Schenk sets up. She averages over 10 points a game. A lot of balance on this Franklin team. Diamond Miller slices through the defense and has it knocked out by Mulaney. So it will remain Franklin basketball.
Good job by Diamond, though, setting up that drive. She almost stacked up Manasquan defenders to get them to have a domino effect upon each other.
Jackson triggers in. Another good inbounds pass, but the block from behind by Mulaney. Put in, though, by Franklin on the loose ball. It's Jackson who scores. Tiana Jackson the bucket. A 5-point game, 26-21. And the shot by Faith Masonis doesn't go. Addie Masonis the rebound. Mabry for 3, in and out. Tapped up by Manasquan, doesn't go. And a foul over the back called on Manasquan.
Manasquan getting a ton of offensive rebounds, but they really haven't converted so many of them as they've gotten so far. But again, it speaks to that work ethic. Nothing is not theirs. Every time a ball is unclaimed, they assume it's theirs. They go after it with a passion.
Miller flips it back. 1:20 left. Miller, long 3. That's off the mark. And taken here by Addie Masonis. Quickly across the midcourt line. Flips it inside to Mabry, who taps it back outside to Stella Clark. Galvan back outside to Mabry. Dara, the Gatorade New Jersey Player of the Year. Dribbles in. And a foul on the floor.
Franklin going small right now on that 2-3 with Davis Campbell off on the bench.
So Dara Mabry will go to the line. She'll shoot 1-1. She's an 87% free throw shooter. Dara Mabry, first team All-State, of course. But as we said, also the Gatorade Player of the Year, the third of the Mabry sisters to win the award. Think about that. It's mind-boggling. Both Marina and Michaela both were New Jersey Gatorade Players of the Year. And now, Dara. Knocked away by Dara Mabry. Up ahead, Stella Clark lays it up and in.
Mabry to Stella Clark.
And that'll be a call. That'll be a foul on Franklin. Well, actually, not a foul, but she stepped out of bounds on the baseline. Stepped in, then stepped out.
Curious to see what Manasquan does here, Lou. If they're going to hold for one right here, up 7. If nothing else, you're going to keep the ball out of Franklin's hands for the last 16 seconds by holding here.
So here's Stella Clark. Works it down to 10 seconds. Clark dribbles in, double dribble. So the turnover will give it back to Franklin. And Franklin a chance to cut into this deficit with 8.9 seconds remaining here in this first half. Miller dribbles in, takes it right to the hoop, and a blocking foul on Manasquan.
Great recognition by Diamond Miller. It almost looked like Manasquan stood still through the entire penetration, like they were doing the mannequin challenge, and she goes right to the basket, draws a foul, and now she's going to go to the line, and she's probably going to get the opportunity to knock down two buckets here.
And she hits the first.
Diamond Miller deposits the first.
And she'll get another. Never actually heard a public address announcer say Diamond Miller deposits the first. That was interesting. 2 seconds remaining. Mabry, long three. Oh, off the rim, doesn't go. And the first half comes to an end. So Manasquan heads to the locker room. They lead it 28-23. And a very exciting and interesting first half of basketball.
No doubt about it, and I don't want to make too much of it, but those 2 free throws at the end of the half are huge for Franklin because you're going in with a 2-possession game right now. At intermission, you're down 28-23. It's a psychological boost, and I think that Franklin's going to be sitting there saying, let's get these 10 minutes over with so I can get back out onto the court.
Our score at halftime here in the TOC final. Manasquan 28, Franklin 23 on News 12 Varsity.
How do you measure a champion? With grit, heart, intensity, toughness. The results are in for the News 12 Varsity 2017 All-Metro basketball teams. The announcements begin on March 29th at 7 p.m. for the girls team and on March 30th at 7 p.m. for the boys squad.
Well, that's what they're playing for. Manasquan leading Franklin Township 28-23 here at halftime in the New Jersey TOC Girls Basketball Championship game. Manasquan playing in their 4th straight TOC final. A lot of action, Greg, in that first half. Stella Clark getting things started here for the Warriors of Manasquan.
That's where Manasquan was at its best in the first half, in transition. And then you're going to see what was working early for Franklin was Monique Davis-Campbell establishing herself in the post. But again, here's another run out there. Mabry finishing. That was the bread and butter. That was kind of the foundation of the Manasquan offense. And then this young lady took over for Franklin in the second quarter. Diamond Miller with 12 points, striking balance, passing the basketball, attacking the rim, and then her pure jump shot from the perimeter drops 12 points in the second quarter for the Warriors. Stella Clark hitting the brakes, and then that. And I'm going to tell you, it looks like it's something that's out of the ordinary, but it's not. Manasquan girls, whether it's Dara or Faith Masonas, can hit that reverse layup. And again, once again, the run out, the finish by Stella Clark. Stella Clark had 13 points in the first half.
You take a look at the first half numbers. Franklin shooting 9 of 25 from the field. Manasquan 13 of 33 and only 1 of 12 from three-point range. That's very un-Manasquan-like, if you will. Franklin out-rebounding Manasquan 19-14. You take a look at those numbers, Greg, and they kind of don't match up with the score. Manasquan up by 5.
No, and the one that stands out for me is the 13-33 from the field because quite a few of those misses are on offensive rebounds. It wasn't one-and-done possessions. They had a couple possessions where they got 3 cracks at the basket and didn't finish. So that's the number that I think Lisa Kokoda will be expressing at intermission. We need to improve on that. We got to get a little tighter in that regard.
All right, second half just moments away. Manasquan leading Franklin 28-23 on News 12 Varsity.
How do you measure a champion? With grit, heart, intensity, toughness. The results are in for the News 12 Varsity 2017 All-Metro basketball teams. The announcements begin on March 29th at 7 p.m. for the girls team and on March 30th at 7 p.m. for the boys squad.
Welcome back to the Sun National Bank Center here in the state capital of the great state of New Jersey, Trenton. Lou Brogno along with Greg Lerner and our News 12 varsity team. Manasquan leading by 5 as we get ready for the second half. Diamond Miller for Franklin. Solid first half for the sophomore.
4 of 10 from the floor, 2 of 5 from behind the arc. Team high 12 points for Franklin. Got the Warriors back in the game. They were down 10, got them even at one point at 19 apiece.
looking for their 25th win of the year. Stella Clark looking to close out her career with a state championship, a TOC title. Solid first half for her as well.
Stella's 13 points. Dara with a complimentary. Listen, those two kids have worked together for the last 3 years. This is the last rounder for Stella Clark, the last half of her high school career.
Manasquan opening possession of the second half. Warriors moving right to left on your screen. Stella Clark eyes a three, then flips it to Mabry, who dribbles in on the baseline, puts up an underhand scoop shot that doesn't go. Addie Masonis gets it back and gives it back to Stella Clark, who hits.
Clark opens up the second half scoring.
So Manasquan up by 7 now. Jump shot outside does not go by Camille Gray.
Rebound by Kiana Shank.
And the rebound by Schenk, the foul on Manasquan underneath.
The Shank sisters, Kiana and Kennedy, have been such a boost for Franklin this year. Only freshmen, they have been involved since day one, and they're not bashful about shooting the basketball.
And a free throw good by Kiona, the freshman, averaging just a shade over 10 points a game, and sister Kennedy, 7.6 points per game. This is a young Franklin team. I mean, there's only one senior on the roster. That's Monique Davis-Campbell.
Yeah, it's amazing. The poise and composure that they play with just doesn't lend itself to a young team. They look like a veteran squad.
30-25. Manasquan by 5. 7 minutes and 15 seconds remaining in the third. Carly Geisler outside, top of the key. Addie Masonis. Here's Mabry open for 3 in and out. And the rebound underneath. Faith Masonis can't score. Miller up ahead and a little bit too far. Shake cannot catch up to it. So Manasquan will get it back on the Franklin turnover. 1 minute gone by third quarter. Here the TOC final.
The one player Manasquan wants to get involved in this offense with some scoring is the girl with the ball right now. That's Faith Masonis. She was scoreless, 0 for 5 from the field in the first half.
Geisler, nice move. Flips it outside. Faith Masonis can't hit that jump shot. And Stella Clark in between 3 Franklin defenders gets the rebound. But again, Manasquan not hitting from outside. Here comes Gray. Dribbles up. Flips it outside to Diamond Miller. Davis-Campbell back to the basket. Miller for 3. Off the mark.
We spoke about it early in the game, maybe in the pregame. The depth perception here. I've always said it when it used to be at the Meadowlands way back in the day when it was here. When you're in these big facilities, if they tell you your game's at 6:30 and we're going to open the gym for you to shoot at 5 o'clock, I am outside that door at 4:59 banging on it to be let in so I can start getting shots off and acclimated.
3-point shot. Kennedy Shank draws Franklin to within a bucket. It's 30-28. Faith Masonis trying to go backdoor to Mabry, but it's knocked away by Franklin. So it'll be Manasquan possession. At one point, Manasquan had a 10-point lead in this game. Here's Stella Clark, dribbles in, takes the lane, floats it up, can't score. Back tap to Mabry, who puts it up. Again, it's off the rim. And here comes Franklin, a chance to tie or take the lead. Miller flips it over to Gray, and Stella Clark dives in there, but a foul on Manasquan.
So now twice so far in less than 3 minutes of this quarter, Manasquan has prolonged possessions with offensive rebounds and was unable to convert on either occasion. That's the type of thing that can come back and bite you when you look back at the game at the end of it.
And Monique Davis-Campbell unable to score and then reaches in over the back on the foul. That's the first team foul on Franklin here in the second half. 30-28 the score. Franklin out of Somerset County. Their first TOC final in school history. No Somerset school has won the TOC.
Somerset County, Lou, has blossomed into a basketball powerhouse.
And slipping down, Stella Clark, but the foul called on Franklin.
A, it looked like she lost her footing. B, she gave it away by wiping off her sneaker after she got up because she must have lost her footing. So I don't know if there was contact or not on that, but it looked like it was a fortuitous call in favor of Manasquan.
Second team foul on Franklin. The inbounds pass to Mabry, who tries to burrow her way out away from 3 defenders.
Possession arrow.
And it was a jump ball, and the possession will go to Franklin on the alternating arrow. I have to confess, I didn't see the held ball signal. But that is the call. Here's Diamond Miller. Dribbles up. Goes to Camille Gray. Gray pulls up jumper from the foul line. No. Rebound. Knocked around. Picked up by Mabry. And she's fouled in the backcourt.
You can see Audrey Taylor not pleased with that foul. You're fouling 60 feet away from the basket. You could trap in that spot, but you know what? That comes with the territory when you have a young team. They're over-aggressive, and it's a good over-aggressive because you're trapping, you're trying to create a turnover and get the ball back there.
Mabry brings it up here for Manasquan. Angles right side, flips it into Faith Masonis. The turnaround spin. Addie Masonis gets hold of the ball, and then the call goes against Manasquan. So again, Franklin will have an opportunity to either tie or take the lead.
Inevitably, what these possessions are doing is they're taxing Manasquan's defense to continue to make stops on a Franklin team that is coming full steam ahead in terms of attacking the basket.
Diamond Miller just drove in against 2 defenders, and the ball just trickled off her fingertips out of bounds. So another Franklin turnover gives it back to Manasquan. They bring it across the midcourt line. Stella Clark. Clark dribbles in, flips it outside, and it's intercepted by Gray. 2-on-1 Franklin. She goes to the hoop, can't score. And a blocking foul, though, called on Manasquan. Lisa Kokoda doesn't like that call.
Manasquan doesn't like it because it happened after the ball had already come off the rim and rebounded by Faith Masono, so a little bit late on the call. And let's see if they got it right or not. You're gonna again, no surprise, Camille Gray in attack mode. Listen, Carly Geisler never set her feet there. I don't think. It looked like she had never firmly planted. Good call, but it was just a delayed call.
So Camille Gray at the line, and she will shoot 2. The first is no good. Gray had that monster game yesterday against Rutgers Prep and struggling offensively here today. But she'll get another free throw here, a chance to draw Franklin to within 1. 4 minutes, 20 seconds remaining in the third. Manasquan leading 30-28. And Gray eyes the basket second. Good. So it's a 30-29 game. Manasquan quickly gets it up court. Lola Mullaney, a long 3 doesn't go. And again, here comes Franklin 3-on-2. Gray flips. Far side Shank. Top of the key, Diamond Miller. Miller gets around. Stella Clark lays it up. Can't hit. Ball loose on the ground, picked up by Kennedy Shank. And now a timeout called by Franklin as Audrey Taylor wants to talk it over.
2 things. Great timeout by Audrey Taylor. Her team's got the rock. They have possession with a chance to grab the lead. That last Manasquan possession, what's going to be disturbing to Lisa Kokoda, was Lola Mullaney with the ball out high. 4 kids standing completely still. No motion, no nothing. If there were pigeons in this place, they would have landed on each kid's shoulder, mistaking them for a statue. That is very un-Manasquan-like.
3:52 remaining in the third quarter, and Manasquan hanging on to a 1-point lead. You take a look at the Franklin huddle. The Warriors of Franklin, Group 4 champs this year, defeated Sayreville 68-36. Second Group 4 championship in school history, but the second in the last 3 years. They won the title in 2015 as well. First TOC final appearance in school history. They're the first school, Somerset County, here to see Franklin Township. 24-7, looking for their 25th victory of the year. They get that 25th victory, and it'll be
the sweetest one of all if they pull that one off.
A magical one for sure. Manasquan on the other side, playing in their 4th straight TOC final. Hard to put something like that into perspective.
Because you can't. Last year they were the first team to do it 3 times in a row, so now they're just adding to that lore. Never done by Shabazz, never done by Vianney, never done by anybody except Manasquan.
Trying to win their 3rd TOC championship, but there's a long way to go. 3:45 left here in the 3rd. Kennedy Schenk dribbles in, flips it back outside. Dribbling in now is Kiona Schenk, and she draws the foul. So she'll go to the line. The freshman a chance to give Franklin the lead here. That is the 15th foul on Manasquan. So Kiana Schenk get the line. And her first is good. We're tied at 30.
Returning is Monique Davis-Campbell, replacing Kirsten McLeod.
It's the second tie of the game. And if she can hit this, she'll give Franklin their first lead. And she cannot. So we're tied at 30. 3:35 remaining here in the 3rd. Dara Mabry to Stella Clark. Bounce pass. Galvan has it knocked away. The quickness of Franklin again. Able to knock it loose. Diamond Miller dribbles up. Flips over to Gray. Camille Gray. Outside the arc. Gives the Schenk. Back outside. Schenk. 3-second violation. Looked like Monique Davis-Campbell was camped out that time in the lane.
3-second violation. 3 seconds.
So approaching 3 minutes left here in this 3rd quarter. All tied at 30 in the New Jersey State Championship game.
Franklin in his 2-3 right now. This is a team that loves to play man-to-man, but going into the 2-3, and it's kind of stagnated Manasquan quite a bit.
Mabry took that shot and off the mark.
Let's do a rewind here real fast. This quarter opened up with a 3-pointer from Manasquan. They haven't scored since.
And Manasquan really struggling from outside. As we said, this is a good shooting team. Uncharacteristic for them. Brilliant pass by Schenk into Davis-Campbell. Franklin has the lead, 32-30. Their first lead of the game. Stella Clark for 3 off the rim, no, and it's knocked out off of Manasquan. Now the officials talk it over.
In the first half, it was done. They reversed the call. They're very interesting. Not 50% of the gym agrees with the call, and the other 50 does not. I can tell you it was the Franklin 50 that does not agree with the reversal. Because go back to that possession that gives Franklin a lead. It's Kiana Schenk, the freshman, who's going inside and attacking the basket. A freshman, remind you.
Faith Masonis puts it up and draws the foul. So the outstanding sophomore Faith Masonis will go to the line. That is the 4th team foul on Franklin.
Team 4 at the line, Faith Masonis.
So Masonis at the line and hits the first. A chance to tie the game. Manasquan down by 1. And the second, no good. So Franklin retains the lead. It's 32-31, and Franklin throws it away. Diamond Miller trying to get it up to Gray. Addie Masonis checks back into the game for Manasquan.
So, Lou, there's Faith and Addie Masonis are here today. So here's a math question. You have 2 Masonis kids on the floor. How many Masonis kids are not on the floor from the Masonis family today? 8. 8 in the family.
Beautiful drive by Dara Mabry, and she gives Manasquan the lead, 33-32. Schenk drives in, puts it up, short. Taken by Mulaney. It's a 2-on-1 for Manasquan. Mabry, beautiful crossover dribble, but can't connect. Faith Masonis gets the rebound in the corner and has it knocked out by Camille Gray.
So, yeah, just to wrap it up, 10 children in the Masonis household. 10. Imagine what the grocery bill is in that household.
A minute 35 counting down here in the third quarter. Mabry dishes outside Addie Masonis. Mabry gets it back for three. Off the rim. And knocked out by Franklin. It'll be Manasquan basketball.
The arc has not been kind to Manasquan tonight right now.
Manasquan, a team that shoots 33% from three-point range on the season and 48% from the field. 1 of 17 tonight. You've seen a lot of Manasquan basketball over the years, Greg. When's the last time Manasquan shot 1 of 17 from three?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Can't remember it, but I can tell you one thing. They definitely don't want to do it on this night. That is not the night you want to shoot 1 for 17.
And a timeout called by Manasquan. It's a 30-second timeout taken by Lisa Kokoda. 1 minute and 14 seconds remaining in the third. Of course, the boys' state championship game coming up next at Don Bosco Prep, the number 3 seed, the big surprise of the TOC this year. The Ironmen 30-1, taking on the Celtics of the Patrick School, the number 1 seed. And that's coming up next. Tip-off slated for 8:15 here on News 12 Varsity. That should be quite a game. Don Bosco Prep, of course, the huge win over Linden yesterday in the semifinals.
Yeah, I felt like Don Bosco and Franklin are those two teams that I don't think if you would ask people prior to yesterday if they expected them to be here. But both of them taking down huge opponents. Rutgers Prep falls to Franklin. On the girls' side, Linden falls to Bosco on the boys' side.
Mabry on the reverse, puts it up, and it dances off the rim. So Franklin a chance to regain the lead. Diamond Miller stops, pops, and hits. It's a 2-point shot, and Franklin up by 1, 34-33.
She may be the one shooter in this entire game whose jumper has been true to her throughout most of the contest.
Faith Soda's trying to dribble in against Diamond Miller with the block. Up ahead, Franklin in transition. The basket scored by Kennedy Shake. Franklin, their largest lead of the game, 36-33, Franklin.
And it starts with Diamond Miller's block down there on the baseline. She does not block for artistry. She blocks for defense. She keeps the ball on the floor.
Faith Masotis hits the jumper. It's a 1-point game. 36-35. Inside the pass, and that's a travel called on Monique Davis-Campbell.
Heady step in by Addie Masonis right there. When Monique turns to face, Addie's sitting right in her back pocket, forces the step.
So Manasquan, a chance to take the lead here at the end of the third quarter. 8 seconds left. Up ahead, they get it to Mabry. Double teamed. Mabry trying to dribble in. And looks like a held ball. It'll be Manasquan possession with 1.9 seconds remaining. Let's see if Manasquan can get a shot off. Stella Clark to trigger. Gets it in at the buzzer. Mabry goes in and out. She had a good shot, good look. But the third quarter comes to an end when we have played 3 here at the Sun National Bank Center. And look at this, the number 4 seed, Franklin, with a 1-point lead. Diamond Miller leading the way for the Warriors of Franklin, trying to win their first ever TOC title.
How do you measure a champion? With grit, heart, intensity, toughness. The results are in for the News 12 Varsity 2017 All-Metro basketball teams. The announcements begin on March 29th at 7 p.m. for the girls team and on March 30th at 7 p.m. for the boys squad.
Welcome back to News 12 Varsity's coverage of the TOC final, the New Jersey Girls Basketball State Championship game. 15th ranked Franklin leading 2nd ranked Manasquan 36-35. Lou Brogno along with Greg Lerner. The 4th and final quarter about to begin. It'll be Franklin basketball. They'll have the first possession of this 4th quarter. Diamond Miller dribbles across. Outside is Schenk to Miller in the corner. Dribbles in, trying to back in on Mabry. Flips it top of the key. Franklin with a 1-point lead. They're up 36-35. And that's knocked away by Stella Clark. Franklin, a team that lost 7 games this year. As we said earlier, in case you just joined us, they were knocked out of the Somerset County tournament in the quarterfinals. But what a run they have had here in this state tournament, the Cinderella team for sure. And that's an offensive foul called on Camille Gray.
Franklin is the epitome of a team that got better as the season progressed. I mean, their losses. They lost by 2 points to Rumson at Mount St. Dominic in December. They lost to Vianney up there in December. That's December. This is March. We're talking about months away. Teams grow, develop personality, develop chemistry, and it's evident that Franklin has all of that working right now.
First minute of play of the 4th quarter. Bounce pass. Faith Masonis flips it back outside. Open 3. Good look for Geisler. Couldn't score. Here comes Franklin with a 1-point lead. Diamond Miller dribbles in, knifes through the defense, and floats it in.
Great body control, getting to the rim, and the delicate touch on the finish.
Franklin by 3, 38-35. Geisler wide open. Faith Masonis lays it in. Good look by Geisler.
Carly Geisler underneath to Faith Masonis of Geisler.
38-37. Franklin by 1. Schenk takes the baseline and floats it in.
Again, the freshman attacking the basket unabashed.
So Franklin by 3, 40-37. And then driving in, Stella Clark can't score. That'll be a held ball, and that'll give it to Manasquan on the alternating possession.
Held ball, Miller and Masonis on the jump ball. Possession, Manasquan.
Clark inbounds. Addie Masonis has it blocked by Diamond Miller. Then Clark gets it back, puts it up, doesn't go, and a foul called on Manasquan, reaching over the back. That's the 6th team foul on Manasquan.
Foul charge, number 5, Addie Masonis, number 5's third.
Foul is on Addie Masonis. That's her 3rd personal foul. 5:55 left, counting down here in the 4th quarter. Miller, top of the key. Here's Jackson outside. And a foul inside. And I believe that's on Manasquan.
Away from the ball, charge to Manasquan, number 11. Clark, number 11's third.
5:48 to go in the game, and they're going 1-and-1s now, man.
That's their 7th team foul. They're over the limit. So Camille Gray goes to the line.
Camille Gray, 1-and-1.
Franklin already with a 3-point lead. And Gray's free throw is no good, but the rebound comes back to Schenk, and then it's taken away from behind. Nice play by Faith Masonis. And the possession arrow favors Franklin, so they'll inbound on the baseline. A bounce pass into Gray. Puts it up, can't score. Rebound, Addie Masonis. Flips it out, and Schenk kicked it. It'll be Manasquan ball.
Franklin has done a great job of anticipating where Manasquan wants to go with the ball, whether it's in their half court, whether it's when they're trying to get a ball up the court off a rebound, just jumping in front of everything. Anticipation huge.
Good look inside. Mulaney has it knocked away from behind by Kennedy Shank. And here comes Diamond Miller, dribbles in, lost the dribble, and that call goes against Franklin.
Called offensive foul on Diamond Miller.
So Miller dribbling in a little out of control.
16 foul for Franklin.
That's the 6th team foul on Franklin. So Manasquan will be shooting free throws on the next foul as well. It's Clark to Mabry. Franklin really has held Dara Mabry in check. Clark outside.
Manasquan has to start exploring seams in this 2-3. They got to start to compromise it by piercing inside, driving and dishing.
Faith Masonis, beautiful play as she spun around and kissed it off the glass. 40-39, 4:40 remaining here in the fourth. 1 point Franklin lead. Diamond Miller open outside, now dribbles in and lost the ball, but it was knocked out by Manasquan. Monique Davis-Campbell back into the lineup for Franklin. And Kennedy Shank takes a seat.
Can't say enough about the contributions that the Shank twins have given Franklin. Buckets, minutes.
Jump shot outside for three! Kiana Shank.
On cue, Kiana Shank, sticking at 3.
Franklin by 4. Mabry for 3. Got it. Dara Mabry, a huge 3 for Manasquan. Draws them to within 1. There's Shank outside. Knocked away. The hustle of Stella Clark.
I'm more used to seeing Stella Clark not on her feet than on her feet. That kid just dives for everything, sets the tone as the hustle catalyst for Manasquan.
43-42. Here's Tiana Jackson, flips it to Shank. Shank dribbles in, dishes in the corner, back to Jackson. Diamond Miller now, dribbles in, lost the dribble. Up ahead to Stella Clark. She lays it up and in. Manasquan recaptures the lead, 44-43. And a timeout called by Franklin.
Tough to tell if Diamond lost the handle when she went behind her back or it went behind her back because she actually lost the handle going into the lane. However it unfolds, it's a huge play by Faith Masonis to outlet it. We're going to see the replay right here. So she goes, yeah, it looks like she almost lost it. Maybe she was looking to go behind the back to Monique Davis-Campbell on the opposite block. Regardless, you turn the ball over in this spot, and you got to give Manasquan credit because they have converted, and it makes Nikki Stevens put some kind of chokehold on her teammate on the bench.
So Manasquan up by a point, 3 minutes and 32 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. Franklin's largest lead in this game, 4. Manasquan at 1 point led by 10. There's been 2 ties and 4 lead changes. Manasquan cheerleaders are here, and you got to give props to Manasquan. Their pep band is here as well.
Love it, love it.
Manasquan, their 4th straight TOC final appearance. It's a Tournament of Champions record, 4 straight. Of course, St. John Vianney has won 7 titles. Shabazz has won 6. And now Manasquan trying to win their 3rd. But Franklin has other ideas. Audrey Taylor has her team down by 1, 3:32 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Manasquan in 2014 lost to Shabazz in this final. 2015 they won it, defeating fellow short conference member St. Rose. And in 2016 they lost to St. John Vianney. Up ahead, Manasquan. Cross court it goes. Addie Masonis. Mabry fakes the 3. Pulls up, flips it back outside. Manasquan will bring it back out. Clark at the foul line. Jump shot outside, doesn't go. Rebound, Addie Masonis flips it to Faith, who gets it back to Clark.
That's a huge rebound by Addie Masonis. It bails out her cousin Stella, who took a long three-pointer. This is wise. Take the ball out, spread the floor. You get a seam, you attack the basket now. Take the three-pointer out of the equation. Find a seam in this defense, attack, and go to the rim.
Stella Clark dribbles in. Bounce pass, and then they go back outside. Mabry floats it up, and it rattles around the rim and out. Miller up ahead to Jackson. Franklin can retake the lead. Diamond Miller on the left wing. Flips it up ahead to Gray. Puts it up off the glass. No. And the ball knocked out of bounds off of Manasquan. It'll be Franklin basketball with 2:20 remaining here in the fourth. Scintillating TOC girls basketball final. Gray puts it in, and the foul. Camille Gray with a huge hoop for Franklin.
One of the things I've seen from some of the best teams this season is how much detail they put on inbounds plays under the basket. You're seeing it right there. That backdoor cut that's going to come in here. Back turn, finished by Gray. That's great recognition by Tiana Jackson, who in my opinion doesn't get enough credit for what she gives this Franklin team.
And Gray hits the free throw to give Franklin a 2-point lead. They're up by a bucket, 46-44. 2 minutes, 10 seconds remaining. Here's Stella Clark between the circles. Flips it over to Mulaney. Goes inside Faith Masonis, and Diamond Miller with the block. Knocks it out of bounds.
Blocked by Miller.
Lisa Kokoda. Her team in a dogfight here. Down by 2. Manasquan triggers into Mabry, who's hammered as she puts the shot up. Well, as we said, Dara Mabry's an 87% free throw shooter, one of the best in the state.
Her sister made a couple big free throws last night to get Notre Dame past Purdue in overtime in the NCAA tournament. You know, that's the one thing about the Mabry sisters is they've always emphasized the importance of fundamentals. And one of the most important fundamentals is knocking down free throws.
So she will shoot 2. A chance to tie the game if she can hit both. And the first is good. Oh, it danced around the rim and fell through. And the second, good as well. We're tied at 46. 2 minutes left in the state final. Miller flips it outside to Schenk. Kennedy Schenk over to Tiana Jackson. Jackson, the point guard for Franklin, sets it up. Schenk to Gray. Gray takes the baseline, puts it up, can't score. Ball loose, but the quickness of Jackson keeps possession for Franklin. 1:35, Diamond Miller floats it up and in.
Diamond Miller.
48-46. Franklin by 2. Dara Mabry, 1:25 left, and Manasquan calls a timeout.
It's one of the things that anybody that appreciates old school basketball can relate to when they watch Diamond Miller. She uses the glass. It's why it's there. I watch her so often when she pierces the middle. She is more than happy to throw a ball off the white box that's on the backboard. Boys and girls, the white box is there for a reason, because if you put a ball off of it, it's going to find the net, and like it did right there. Soft touch, gets a friendly shooter's roll, but uses the glass. Tim Duncan would be proud.
So Franklin with a 2-point lead. It'll be Manasquan possession. Manasquan coming in 31-2 on the year. Franklin 24-7. Manasquan the number 2 seed here in this Tournament of Champions. Franklin the number 4 seed. Diamond Miller breaks the huddle for Franklin. That's a name you'll be hearing a lot about over the next couple of years. Only a sophomore. Of course, Dara Mabry for Manasquan. You forget that she's only a junior. She'll be back next year.
Huge support crew from Franklin is here. Warriors hearing it from the crowd with 1:24 to go, trying to will Franklin to the finish line.
Mabry breaks free to get the inbounds pass. Plenty of time here. 1:15 remaining. Mabry flips, gives to Masonis, dribbles in with a reverse and puts it in. Faith Masonis ties the game at 48. 1 minute left in regulation.
We sniffing overtime for a second year in a row, Lou. We were up here. This is deja vu.
Here's Miller. Dribbles, flips it outside to Schenk. 45 seconds left. Keona Schenk to Diamond Miller. Down to 40 seconds. Miller dribbles, gives to Gray. Franklin weaving around the perimeter. 35 seconds left. Will they hold for the last shot? Here is Miller. Miller way up top as Mabry jumps out on her. Schenk being played by Lola Mullaney. Schenk flips it outside to Kennedy Schenk. 15 seconds left now. Here's Miller. Miller, crossover dribble, being played by Mabry. And a timeout. Franklin with 13.5 seconds remaining.
This is for our friends over on the other side of the river in New York, who always talk to me about the shot clock, okay? The hardest part in basketball is to work the clock down to a final shot for over a minute, working the ball around in the half court, okay? It doesn't get enough credit. I know it's not sexy, okay? But you go out there, you try and run a half court set for 59 seconds against one of the best teams in the state to save for a last shot. It's not easy, and I know the proponents of the shot clock are going to tell me to shut up, but I'm just giving you the other side of the story because there is another side to the story that often gets overlooked because everybody just wants to say, where's the shot clock at? Well, try and defend for 59 seconds while I run a spread offense. It's not easy.
So here's the reset here. Manasquan and Franklin tied at 48. Manasquan has 18 fouls, Franklin 7. So Manasquan, if they foul, will put Franklin on the line. Manasquan has 2 timeouts remaining. Franklin 1. And Franklin inbounds. 10 seconds left. Diamond Miller, that's the one they want to have the ball. Miller launches a 3 off the rim. No. Rebound pulled down by Schenk. Puts up the jumper. Good at the buzzer. Franklin defeats Manasquan 50-48. And they win the New Jersey State Championship.
We said it the whole game. These 2 freshmen, the Schenk sisters, it's like they were born for this moment. She gets that ball with the wherewithal to back out, square up, fire, and hit the biggest shot of her young life.
The Franklin Warriors win their first overall New Jersey State title in school history as they hit the shot at the buzzer to defeat Manasquan 50-48. They improved to 25-7. They finished their season, their 25th victory, the most memorable in school history. Manasquan, a bitter, disappointing loss. Just their 3rd loss of the year. A tremendous game here in the TOC final. What a win for Franklin. The game-winning shot one more time. Of course, Diamond Miller took the first shot, and then Schenk at the buzzer wins it for Franklin. Wow. So the celebration on for the Somerset County School. The Franklin Township Warriors, as they win the 2017 TOC title and the New Jersey Girls Basketball State Championship. So that will do it here from the Sun National Bank Center as Franklin defeats Manasquan by the score of 50-48. The Warriors of Franklin are the 2017 New Jersey State Girls Basketball champions. For Greg Lerner and our entire team, I'm Lou Brogno. Thanks for joining us. Franklin wins the title.